Hey guys, Loco here. Guess what time it is? It's coffee time. Welcome to my living room, by the way. Bit of a change of scenery. Anyways, so today I wanted to talk about a very interesting development that has been going on in the live streaming world of video games. And that is the fact that a lot of big streamers are now making the move over to a new platform called Mixer. Now, I probably could have made a video about this a couple of months ago when we first heard that Ninja was moving over, who is considered to be the biggest streamer in the world. But honestly, it was just one streamer and it wasn't really that interesting until very recently, where we heard that also Shroud is now exclusively streaming on Mixer. I think someone called Lord Gotharian, I'm not too familiar with his content, is now also streaming exclusively on Mixer. Tim the Tatman has been announcing, or at the very least dropping some hints here and there, that he might be switching very soon too. And it seems like there's a lot of rumors about big streamers. In case you're familiar with or unfamiliar with any of these names, that's totally fine. But it seems like a lot of the big streamers are starting to make the move on over to a new platform. Now, initially, when it was just one streamer, I wasn't all too worried about it. Right now, though, it's a very interesting subject to discuss, and I've been thinking about it quite a bit. So let's just take a step back, right? So Twitch is owned by a little company. It was purchased a couple of years ago, known as Amazon. You may have heard of them, right? And for a couple of years, they've essentially had 100% market share when it comes to the live streaming of video games, and really most live streaming in general. They've really started branching out into like IRL streaming as well, where people play this little video game called In Real Life or something. They've also got like an arts selection. I know that even like Donald Trump made a Twitch account, and he's now sometimes like live streaming on that platform too. I mean, there's been some crazy developments, and they are really established when it comes to the live streaming space in general. Now, obviously, YouTube has been trying to like take a piece of that pie. We have like Facebook streaming, like Instagram streaming. There was like, Twitter with Periscope for a while. But basically, a bunch of companies have tried taking a piece of that pie, and none of them really succeeded because all of them kind of suck, right? Like, let's be real. I mean, YouTube is pretty good, but it still doesn't really have that much when it compares to, for example, Twitch. Now, what's interesting to me, right, is the reason as to why those people are switching over from Twitch to Mixer. And, well, the obvious answer is money, right? What's interesting, though, is that these guys are already making insane amounts of money. We know that, for example, I know that Ninja, he once upon a time held the record of having most active Twitch subscribers at one given moment, and it was a little bit over like 200,000 in active Twitch subs. But I know that Shroud regularly shows his dashboard. I know that Tim the Tatman has like a number on screen as well. And most of them seem to hover between like, say like 40 to maybe 80,000 or so active Twitch subscribers. Now, if you take into account that there's like different tiers and that they probably are getting like, obviously Twitch is taking a share as well. But even if we're lowballing, off of like ad revenue and subscriber revenue alone, these big streamers are probably making anywhere between like, I don't know, 150,000 to maybe $500,000 a month, right? Now, if you add to that sponsorships and promotional content, their YouTube channels, and all of the other side income that they have, we're probably talking about most of them making anywhere between 300 to $1 million a month. What's interesting to me is that they are willing to basically look at that and think, okay, that's cool and all, but what if I move on over to a new platform called Mixer? Now, Mixer is owned by Microsoft. They must be giving them some insane incentives and obviously massive signing bonuses as well that probably make up for like 10 years of potential missed revenue, right? I would not be surprised if many of these guys are getting anywhere between like 10 to 20 million just as like a signing bonus. I would not be surprised if that's the case, right? By the way, I don't know if you can hear any noise, but it seems like they're doing some sort of roadworks outside right now. Perfect timing. Of course, Loco records a video. Of course, we're going to start drilling and whatnot outside right at that moment. Perfect. So the way that it's been going so far is that really, like Mixer has been focusing on the biggest streamers on the platform, right? However, if you think of like all of the streamers in like a pyramid, right? I'm probably somewhere like near the middle. I don't have a very big stream, but it's not super small either, right? Like I'm somewhere in the middle. I mean, I play StarCraft. It's a pretty niche game when it comes to video games in general. But anyways, when you think of like all of those different streamers, right, and all of the different viewer counts, I suppose, in like the form of a pyramid. Right now, Mixer really has been focusing only on like the tippity top of that pyramid. And I don't think that that is where they're gonna settle. So they've been getting a lot of traction lately, but just, you know, announcing and essentially purchasing the biggest streamers to come on over to their platform. But I would not be surprised if over the next like year or so, they're gonna make a shove as well for like the middle section, right? The middle section of the pyramid. And then it's very likely that if like you have like big sized channels and then medium sized channels on a new platform, that the bottom section of the pyramid will essentially follow on over automatically, because people now by default watch on that platform instead. Now at this point, is Twitch in any trouble? No. I mean, they still probably have like, I don't know, 95% of the market share, but I mean, compared to a year ago, that certainly is significantly less, right? And I wonder what this means for Twitch right now as well. Are they gonna have to offer their partners better incentives? Are they gonna have to focus on like the viewer experience a lot more? Is Mixer gonna offer like default starting bonuses for people that decide to switch on over to their platform? One of the questions I've been getting a lot over the last couple of weeks is whether or not I also plan on switching on over to Mixer. At this time, I mean, I absolutely love Twitch. I really think it's a great platform. They do things extremely well. I love the fact that there is a great Twitch community, and at this point, I have absolutely no intention of switching on over. But say a company like Mixer reaches out and they're like, hey, we offer you like a life-changing amount of money if now you're gonna be streaming exclusively with us. I mean, obviously that would be very hard to decline, right? I mean, if this whole like space of work, right? So the way you gotta think of this as well as someone who like makes content, right? So from my perspective, this whole like live streaming and YouTube and Twitch and like this whole business is still very new, right? It's difficult to say what things are gonna look like, say 5 years from now, say 20 years from now, right? Am I still gonna be able to do this? I have no idea. So a lot of those bigger creators, I guess, are all looking for stability, and if they can get a massive payday just for signing with Twitch or for example Mixer rather, I can imagine many of them will take it, right? So at this time, no, I have absolutely no intention of switching platform. But I mean, if they're like gonna offer me a life-changing amount of money, I don't think you could ever blame someone for switching, right? All right, so I think we can all agree on the fact that competition in general creates excellence, right? I mean, if a company somehow, some way manages to create essentially like a monopoly in a certain space, it creates a whole set of new problems, and really that's what we are seeing right now every once in a while on YouTube, where no one's really capable at this point of competing with YouTube, and you know, you get into a whole new set of issues with governments getting involved and a whole new set of like rules that they have to comply with. I think in general competition is very, very good. Now where it does suck is that right now the way it is, right? Say like everyone streams their content on Twitch, right? The way it is. If you subscribe to someone's channel, you get a bunch of emojis. For example, if you decide to subscribe to my channel, I mean, I'm just saying that's a good option. But if you subscribe to my Twitch channel, you can use the emojis you get all over Twitch. And obviously, if like say half the competition or like half the streamers are gonna be on one platform and the other half is gonna be on another one, it essentially devaluates the value of a subscription, right? Likewise, also for a lot of these creators, they have been streaming on Twitch for a very long time. And what I personally love about Twitch is the community. Now, one of the big things about the community is viewers that have been watching for a very long time. For example, there's a couple of people right now that have been subscribed to my channel actually this month exactly for 69 months. I know, that's pretty nice. But they have been subscribed to my channel for 69 months straight, which is when I first got partnered on Twitch. That is awesome, okay? Like, I know those guys, they've been around and they've been with us for a very long time. And I like to think that I at the very least know some of them on a pretty personal level as well, because they've been tuning in for many, many years. When you switch on over to a new platform, you're essentially giving those viewers like a massive like middle finger, right? It's like, yeah, sorry, your community subscription was fun and all, but now I'm here. I think it can certainly hurt you in the community sense, for sure. Although most of the viewers, I guess, that have been tuning in for a long time probably also want you to do well for yourself. So you know, it's like a balancing act, I suppose. But that is something to keep in mind, right? I mean, I don't know exactly how long, for example, someone like Ninja had a subscriber button for on Twitch, but I can imagine it was like 5+ years. It must kind of suck if you've had a subscription on his channel ever since the very beginning, and then you have to start from scratch again, right? I can imagine that alienates a lot of viewers. And you can notice it as well actually in his viewer count nowadays. I mean, initially when he first announced he was switching over to Mixer, it was with a lot of hype and he had like massive views on that new platform because a lot of people were curious. But if you watch his streams right now, they are significantly smaller than they were when he was streaming on Twitch. So there certainly is, that's obviously also the reason why they get that really big signing bonus. Probably means that they don't have to care anymore about any of those stream viewers, but it's still, I don't know, like in a way it sucks because you create this community and then you just sort of let it slide, and it doesn't quite feel right to me. Now, some people have been making the comparison as well to, for example, the fact that you will have to pay a subscription to, well, what it is right now with like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and like all of these different, like Disney's got a new one right now as well, where you have to basically get a subscription to all of those different platforms if you want to watch everything. I don't really see that as like an issue, to be honest, because all of the content that pretty much all these guys make is free. I mean, that includes my content too. Yeah, whether or not I post it on here, or like say I post a video for some reason on Facebook, I mean, you could still watch it for free, right? So I don't really see that as a big issue. But obviously when it comes to like those streaming services in general, so the ones you get on like your television, right? It would be nice if they were all in one place and they weren't all like divided into like a bunch of different companies. But then again, say like Netflix was the one company owning everything. Would that actually be good? Because they could literally charge $50 a month and you'd probably go back to cable television? I don't know. Do you really want like one company, like for example Netflix, to own all shows? Like on paper that'd be pretty cool, but at that point they could basically charge just whatever, right? Like they can just charge like, now it's gonna be $70 a month. You either pay that or you can't watch any shows anymore because we bought everything. Like you can't really expect a company to do well when it's got a monopoly because in the end, well, capitalism is pretty good in that department. I guess it is a good time to be a streamer, especially if you're one of like those big streamers that I named earlier, because if it means that, like, say for example, Mixer is gonna continue purchasing people that are in like the top like 25 or something, right, of biggest streamers on the platform. I guess Twitch at the same time really does not want any of those people to leave the platform, right? They may very well start offering better incentives as well for those people to stay. Like say for example, because of this whole competition result, Twitch reaches out to me and they're like, hey Loco, we're gonna like reduce the share we take off of subscriptions if you decide to stick with us for 2 years. That would be very interesting, right? So it is a very cool time to be a streamer right now because these developments certainly will have an effect. I mean, I can imagine right now the executive team of Twitch is not happy with this development because if they keep on like, you know, stealing away like another 100 streamers, right? And obviously Microsoft has that money. Say Microsoft has another 100 million to splurge on another like 200 streamers to move on over. Let's say they manage to get another like 50 of the top 100 streamers of Twitch. That would be a massive problem because then obviously the viewers follow. So I can imagine that over at Twitch, this is one of the discussions that's going on right now as well. Like, what can we do to make sure that partners are not gonna leave this platform, right? And I think, well, really what it all comes down to is that I guess partners are gonna have to be treated differently, and they would probably have to be getting additional revenue one way or another, or they would have to like offer such insane incentives for people to just simply stay and decline the offer from Mixer. It is a very interesting situation to be in right now, and I would be very surprised if Twitch does not respond to any of this and be slowly pawned away at, right? I mean, right now, I mean, Mixer is the one that's essentially giving people insanely good contracts, but obviously YouTube has that money as well. Obviously Facebook has that money as well, right? I mean, those companies can definitely also create incentives for streamers to move on over, and it's an interesting development for sure. I really am curious what things are gonna look like in say like another couple of years from now. Anyways, I guess that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section of this video. Also, by the way, do you like it if I just like sit around and drink coffee and ramble about a certain subject that's on my mind? It seems like the previous coffee time videos did quite well, so I figured let's do another one. But for now, I very much so want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile or write. And I'll see you once again tomorrow for a good old regular gaming video.